Good morning, Facebook. How's it going? Did you bring something to drink? So I have water in a cup I recently rediscovered now that I'm purging my house. And I have in my favorite Charlotte mug, I have some coffee. We went camping this last weekend. Don't tell, but it just simplifies life if you get like the natural creamer. So I got that. Good morning, Carolyn. I'm glad you're with me. I know you got your coffee. Yeah. All right, so I'm super excited about today. I love these little chats. I hope you enjoy them too. So if you don't know me, my name is Sarah, and I am a mom of 3 fun little people, and we live in the desert Southwest. Still summer here. I know all of you guys are getting all drunk on fall. There's no fall for us here. Not yet, anyway. The only fall we get is when the snowbirds come down and they start falling in the grocery store. That's our fall. It's a sad story, but we won't talk about that right now. Right, Kathy? Yeah. All right, so today I wasn't sure what to talk about, and I asked a couple of you, should I talk about essential oils? Should I talk about my new crack, which is this tidying up book that I'm totally addicted to right here? We're going to talk about that in a bit. But a lot of you wanted me to talk about essential oils, so I figured I would share my story, our story, and how they've kind of like helped us. So a couple of years ago, we lived in this teeny tiny pocket-sized house. It was our starter house. We bought it in 2006 at the height of the market. We were first timers, so we were totally green and didn't know what we were doing. And our realtor kind of took advantage of that, I think, a little bit, you know? And so we were like, oh, we bought the first house we could, and it was this little tiny pocket-sized house in a pretty neighborhood. And it totally fit our needs at the time. We were both working, we didn't have any kids. It was 1,010 square feet. All this time I've been saying 1,050, it was 1,010. 1,010 square feet, it didn't have a garage, it had 1 bathroom, and for us and our cats it worked great. But then we started having babies, and more babies, and hubby was doing shift work, so he was trying to sleep during the day, and I was like cracked out, freaking out, because he's trying to sleep, and had all these little people that had to keep quiet, and it was 1,050 degrees out half the year. So it kind of like manifested in my oldest, and she has a busy brain like her mama, and she struggled with anxiety, and it started to kind of manifest itself physically in some like self-destructive behavior. And out of respect to her, I don't want to like share her story because I feel kind of weird about that. Like her therapist was like, you shouldn't talk about it, it's her story. And she's true, I shouldn't talk about it. But at the same time, maybe there's other mamas that are struggling like I was, and you just want to help your kid. So she pretty much was pulling her hair out, like to the point of being bald. And we couldn't figure out what was wrong. We had gotten this book on lice at the library. We were like, is it that? Like, is she freaking out about that? We went through a whole bunch of different steps. We saw a whole bunch of different doctors, and she was diagnosed with trichotillomania, which is compulsive hair pulling. So the root of it was anxiety. And we feel that because your environment is so important, like whether or not it's restful, and our house was peaceful and calm, but that was a lot of people in a small space. And when daddy's trying to sleep and little kids are trying to be little kids, mommy's going to be kind of crazy. So maybe I needed more essential oils. So long story short, we did counseling and all kinds of things, and we found essential oils. And I've always been kind of a holistic nerd. Like I would much rather do something naturally than drugs. So I've been hearing about essential oils, and a girlfriend at the time was selling doTERRA, and she came over, and my neck had gone out, and so of course it's on the weekend, so she used some oils on me, and I felt so much better. So I decided that we were going to try this with Charlotte, and oh my gosh, like seriously, we saw a huge improvement. I started using frankincense, which like in the Bible with the wise men brought to Jesus, we used frankincense, which is an amazing oil, and I would use it at the base of her head at night with lavender layered, and she would say, like night and day, she would say her busy brain was either calm or not calm. So that for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to learn more about them. So I started to dig in more about essential oils, and I have like a toolkit of essential oils. It's like our medicine cabinet. Granted, I still love drugs. Like there's a time and a place for antibiotics and all that, but there's also a lot you can do with essential oils. So educate yourself, find someone local to you that sells them. I don't sell oils. I have lots of friends that do those. If you want to plug your like page or drop your info, go ahead. So I was introduced to doTERRA. There's a lot of different essential oils. I'm not going to say one is better than the other because that's not what this is about. It's just about using holistic things to feel better. So Frankincense is one that we always have on hand. It's kind of it's like the go-to. Like when in doubt, use frankincense. It's amazing for your skin. If I have like an injury or something, like a muscle, I'll use different oils and then I'll put some frankincense on it. And like, I love it. I don't particularly like the way it smells, but it really helps Charlotte. So I'm a big believer in that. So frankincense is my favorite, or is not my favorite, but it's a very important one. One of the ones I use a lot, is clary sage. So ladies, you know how certain times of the month you feel like a serial killer and you don't know why. Like, you know, you're having this out of body experience and you know you're being this wicked bitch, but you can't help yourself, men. We can't help ourselves. Something else takes over. So I love clary sage, and there's like other blends and stuff, but honestly, clary sage, it works for me. So I'll huff it in the bathroom if I'm having a really hard time. No, but I like to just apply it to my abdomen. It's great if you have like really painful ovulation, or I use it when I'm really moody with PMS. Like, I actually really like the way it smells now. And I always feel like things that smell good to you are something that your body needs. So I love clary sage. I use it a couple times a month. It's great if your periods are heavy too. It's just any kind of female hormonal imbalance, clary sage is where it's at. Okay, so our other go-to oil is melaleuca, which is also tea tree oil. And I use this one anytime someone gets an ouchie or if anyone's starting to get sick. I apply it down their spine, and I'll also apply it to the bottoms of your feet. So you think with how much we're barefoot that your feet would be like these hard hooves and nothing would absorb, but it's one of the best places to put essential oil. It absorbs straight into your bloodstream, quick like that. So I love melaleuca. If anyone's ever getting a sore throat or if we have a temperature, I always make sure I'm using it. And I also have a diffuser, which I just got a cheapo one on Amazon. You could do the same. And Connor sleeps with a diffuser in his room every single night. And I usually diffuse cedarwood, which is a good one for sleeping just because I'm out of lavender. But melaleuca is a good one to have in your toolkit. And I hear from some friends that this is great if you have a bug bite. You put it on there and it doesn't make it as itchy. So that's good to know. All right, what else? Oh, so we went camping this last weekend and I shared a photo of Terra Shield, which I love. This is a blend and I love the way it smells. And so when we first got to the campsite, I sprayed everyone down with like off, and I just feel awful. Like, what kind of chemicals am I putting on my people? But with the Zika virus and all this stuff going on, I didn't want to take any chances. So I sprayed everyone down with that because this was still packed. And I noticed on myself, I was still getting nibbled. So I went ahead and got the Terra Shield out. I put this on all of us except for hubby. And she only got one bite on her leg, but it really, really works. And it smells good. It smells good. Because like you can use Skin So Soft too. I hear great things about that. But honestly, it kind of makes me want to hurl. I don't know what it is about that smell. I just don't like it. So Terra Shield is fantastic. It's a blend and it's great for any kind of, it's called a repellent blend. Ooh. All right, what else do I have? Okay. Peppermint is a good one. I like peppermint. So doTERRA is therapeutic grade. So some of these you can actually take internally. I'm not telling you to, I'm just saying that's what they say. So with peppermint, I'll actually just put a drop in my mouth if I have a tummy ache or if I've got some really funky garlic breath going on. I like it. I also use this one a lot if anyone has a temperature. This is a hot oil, so you need to make sure that you dilute it with like a carrier oil, like coconut oil. If I'm in a pinch, honestly, I'll use like, come here children, I'm gonna olive oil you up. But I love this one. I used it on myself. I always use it on the kids when they have a temperature. But I had a fever, a flu a couple years ago, and I had a fever, and I actually tried it on myself, and I took this in the bath, and my temperature dropped. So I really like this. This is also a great one for tummies, if your kiddos have a tummy ache, and for headaches too. If you get a headache, like I'll just put it on the base of my neck, and it really, really makes a difference. How awesome is that? Plus, you could add this to your coffee if you're feeling sassy, like if you have a little like chocolate syrup in there, you can make yourself a peppermint mocha. Oh, Christmas brings out the elf in me. Okay, so there's that. What else? Okay. Ginger. Okay, so ginger, I actually prefer this for tummy aches with the kiddos because it's not quite as hot of an oil, and it seems like it really helps. So if anyone's puking or has a tummy ache or anything going on, I will go ahead and rub this in a carrier oil on their tummies, and it really seems to help. Charlotte will actually ask for ginger. So we also love lavender. I love lavender. I'm out right now. It's a sad story. But lavender is amazing for anything. It's great for if you have a sunburn or like a skin irritation. It's great for relaxation. It's good for busy brains. It just smells nice and I love it. So one thing to look at when you're looking for essential oil is to make sure that it's just essential oil. Like you don't want it cut with other things or carrier oils. You can cut it yourself. So it's better to spend a little bit more and get an oil that's pure. And don't get oil at your craft store because those are just for like scents. Like you don't want to put that stuff on your body. You want to make sure that that you get like a therapeutic grade at like your health food store or through your local oil peddler, whatever. But I love, love, love lavender. Lavender is definitely one of my favorites. Lavender, peppermint. Yeah, those are really good. You need to have those, definitely. All mamas should have lavender. It's so good for little people. And just if anyone's feeling off. So another one that has lavender in it is Serenity. And I usually keep this in my car when I need Serenity now. It smells amazing. It's got all kinds of things in here, and I just like it to calm us all down. So this morning Charlotte woke up and her shoulders were kind of bugging her, and I put some Serenity on there. Plus, you know, it's Friday. Everyone needs a little Serenity. One I didn't grab is Balance. Balance is another blend, and I jokingly call it the serial killer blend because if I'm just like, I'll use Balance, and it smells great, and it really is, it's a grounding blend. So it's kind of woodsy. I like that. Woodsy without being like dirt. Speaking of dirt, I have vetiver. So I ordered vetiver a long time ago, and I got it and I was like, ew, this stinks. So I never used it. But I went to an essential oil party. Did you know there was such a thing? I went to an essential oil party, and she talked about how this is what she uses on her big toe, layered with lavender, and it knocks her out. It's like Ambien. And I was like, what? So I dug out my vetiver, and it's a really thick oil. Like, it's kind of hard to get out of the container. It freaking works, you guys. It freaking works. I love it. Get some vetiver and some lavender and have a party or a coma. I really like it. You have a question for me, Heather. What's your question? Maybe she'll type her questions. But yeah, so those are my oils that I love. You should definitely, as mamas, everyone should add in lavender and peppermint to your and melaleuca, tea tree oil. You should have those ones on hand because they're just fantastic. There's another one I really like. It's an expensive one. It's helichrysum. I think I'm saying that right. And if you have like a cut or anything, you put that on there, it will heal it and it stops the bleeding. So I really like that. And if you're gonna have a baby, they say it's also great at preventing hemorrhage. So how about that for Friday morning coffee talk? Yeah. So anyways, those are my essential oils that I love, and they're just part of our normal life now. Like, we just use them all the time, and they make such a difference. So anytime you can do anything holistic without, like, you know, taking medicine or something, I'm down with that. So that's how we use essential oils. I totally love them. And yeah, that's what I gotta say about that. I travel with them even. I put them in little carrier, in little bottles, and we're good to go. But now I'm gonna talk about this book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. So I feel like this kind of segues from the oils because oils are all about creating this like best world that you live in, either in your own skin or in your little house nucleus. And for me, like, I struggled in August. August was hard. I don't know what, I was just off my game, and I keep hearing that from other people too. Like, August was just hard, and I came into September feeling like a hamster on the wheel, all cracked out, and I was just stressed and crabby and mad. I was like mad. I was mad at all these things I had to do in motherhood, and I can't be mad at them. Like, I love being a mom, but I just felt overwhelmed because I wasn't filling my cup and I wasn't taking care of me, and that's so important, self-care. And for some reason, as women, we have a really hard time with that. Like, we can be caregivers and love, 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 but we just struggle with that. And it's so important. Men don't seem to have this problem as much. I think maybe because what they need to have a calm environment is different than women. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But my husband, he'll like do the dishes and he'll like leave some things on the counter. And I'm like, clean the whole kitchen. Like, why would you do it halfway? But to him, it doesn't bother him. And I'm grateful for what he does. I'm not criticizing him. So anyways, I knew going into September, I just needed a reset because I was crabby. And there was no amount of essential oils that was going to fix it. Like, I was just freaking out of sorts, and I felt bad, and then I felt mad, and then I was resentful, and it was just like not a happy time. So I decided that this September I would go back to basics and kind of do a reset. So in my fitness, I'm focusing on just doing yoga and listening to my body, because that can be hard. Like, there's so many things happening all the time. It's hard to like calm all the chatter and do what I need to do so that I am a saner person. So I've gone back to yoga. I'm going to start focusing more on my nutrition, because whenever that gets away from me, it's kind of like, it's a domino effect for me, and I start making bad decisions, and then I start being mad, and then I start, like, my self-talk gets all jacked up, and it's just a domino. So I'd heard about this book, and it happens to be our personal development book club book of the month. If you're not in it, you're welcome to join us. It's amazing. So we went camping, and I read the whole book, and I came home, and I started to implement. So her philosophy is that you need to create peace in your home, and peace in your home is going to create peace in you, which is true. If you have like all these cesspools in your closets and drawers, even if you have like one calm space in your house, you're going to feel that. You're going to feel the vibration. You're going to feel it. So you just need to purge everything that doesn't give you joy, unless it's something that you actually need, and just simplify. And I was like, that's what I need. I'm on board with that. Like my closet, oh my God, I needed it. So read the book while we were camping. I came home. In the book, she talks about you're supposed to start with your personal clothes. You start purging your personal clothes, and then you move on to your shoes, and then you move on to accessories, and then you move on to books, and you kind of slowly build things. So you slowly build to the things that are more emotional. But yesterday we had come home from camping, and my house was a complete train wreck. And so I decided to start in my kitchen, because I like went to get a cup of coffee as I'm looking at this complete like insanity chaos. And I'm like, why do I have 20 coffee cups? Like, I have 2 hands. Seriously, why do we need 20 coffee cups? Why do I need all these water bottles? Like, are we going on a hike in the desert? No, we're not. So I started there, and I just started to purge, and I filled bag after bag after bag, and it felt so good. And my husband came home, and he was like, well, I don't know, like, what if we need those mixing bowls? I'm like, then you wash them. Like, I only have 2 hands, so that means how many bowls do we need? How many serving dishes do we need, right? So it felt amazing. And in the book, she talks about how it's actually magical, like, which sounds totally hokey and weird, but it is. It's like you clean your environment, and even if it's behind closed cupboards and doors, like, it just, the air, everything feels different. It's so liberating. And so I'm just like so excited. Yesterday I was making all these live videos and sharing photos, and I just can't say enough things about it. So a lot of people I'm hearing, I'm seeing, I'm reading, they're like, well, I don't know where to start, or I don't have time for that. You know what? I don't really have time for it either, but break it off into little bite-sized pieces. So like yesterday I did my kitchen, and I did the hallway closets, and I also did my bathrooms because I was on kind of a bender. But just break it into little manageable pieces, because I can't live with my house in chaos either. So I had to do start to finish, one thing at a time. So start there. And it's like, when will you ever have time? That's just life, you guys. Like, we never have time. You have to make time for the things that are important to you. Otherwise, they're really not that important, and excuses are just that. They're just excuses. So rip the Band-Aid off and freaking do it already. Your space is a sacred space. Your space is a sacred space for you and the sacredness of you, your body, your mind, your spirit. And if your environment is chaos, like, you're just never going to find peace. So it starts in your home. It really does. And I can't believe how much stuff we have. And I'm not a holder-oner. Like, I'm not an emotional attachment person. Like, I'm like, whatever, it's just something. Throw it away. If you haven't used it, throw it away. If you need it again, this isn't the Great Depression. More than likely, you're going to be able to go replace it. But I bet you $50 that once you get rid of something that you've had around, seriously, you won't even miss it. So just do it. She talks about how we have this emotional attachment to things, and she says in the book, when we delve into the reasons that we can't let something go, it's because we're either living in the past or we're afraid of the future, which is true. Like, I think about people who kind of tend to keep things. They're like living in the past, or they're afraid of what's to come. And I think a lot of us have anxiety about the future and the unknown and all of that. And so you try and control things, but I would rather control things by keeping my environment clean and purged than like living in just disarray and all the chatter. So there was a couple great questions that popped up yesterday about, well, how do you, like if it's something you have an emotional attachment to, how do you decide to keep it or not? Well, she talks about this in the book. It's all about sparking joy. So you need to like ask yourself, does this thing give me joy? Maybe it gave you joy when you received it as a gift or you purchased it in the store or whenever you acquired it. It gave you joy in that moment, but it doesn't still give you joy. That item has served its purpose. So you thank the item for its role in your journey or your role in your life or whatever. I know it sounds weird, but it really works. And then you can release it and you can either donate it or throw it away. And you don't feel so, about it. Because, I mean, the reality is memories live in our hearts and our heads. They don't live in our house. Like, I don't need to see that memento over there to remember the story. So store those little truth nuggets and those little things in your heart and your mind and just purge the rest. Like, get rid of it. Seriously, your air will feel better. You might even have some like physical breakthroughs with some things you've been dealing with. Like when I started the book and I was reading it, I was like, she's saying people have weight loss and people like have these massive breakthroughs, and people who have been stuck in their businesses have some huge breakthrough. And I was like, I don't know, but by the time I got to the end of it, I can see how it's true that we hold ourselves back. And I think another big piece, the reason this is so magical and life-changing, is because it teaches you to start listening to your intuition and your gut again. And as kids, we're really good at that. Like, things don't feel good. This clothes, this has a tag. It's scratchy. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm too hot. I don't feel good. I'm tired. I'm hungry. Kids identify their feelings and they get their needs met. And as adults, and especially as women, we ignore that. Like, we push through, we power through. There's things to be done. There's stuff on the to-do list. Like, you just gotta make it happen no matter what. And we start to drown out our intuition and the way we really feel about things. And so this book, it's bringing it back, and it's about, does this item give me joy? Does this item make me feel happy? Does this shirt make me feel good? Do I feel confident in this? If not, get rid of it. And don't keep your old mangy stuff for house stuff, like for hanging around the house. Why would you want to feel mangy in your house? Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Start fresh. If you can't start fresh, well, that's okay. You can probably make do with the things that still make you feel good in your house versus keeping old holy shirts and stained jeans for projects you'll probably never even use them for. So, yeah, I think that for me was my big aha, that it's about re-listening, relearning to listen to your gut and trusting yourself. You got to trust that inner voice and that inner like nudge. Things either feel good or they don't. And yeah, I know there's some things we have to keep. I get that. But it's true. You look around your house and it kind of shifts your perspective, what matters and what doesn't matter. So her recommendation is to start with clothes, your personal clothes, and then move into books. And yesterday I got rid of all the kids' books, except for like 2 that have sentimental value. Because you know what? There's this thing called the library. We get books there, right? I never read. I'm not a rereader. Unless it's like a personal development book that's changed my life, I'm not a rereader. So why do we need to hang on to this stuff? It just collects dust. You're gonna have more crap in your air and your environment. Just get rid of it, people. Get rid of it. If you've had the book and you've been hemming and hawing, get into our book club and start applying it. Like, just start doing it. You don't have to do your entire house in one go, but start with one project, start to finish, and just freaking get it done. So today my project is my closet. I'm leaving hubby's stuff in there because that's something that he has to do on his own. I'll probably help him a little bit. But yeah, you just start. Just start. Yep, just start. Okay, so let's see. What other notes did I have for you guys? Okay, I like this quote. She says, "The space in which we live now should be for the person we are becoming now, not for the person that you were." Boom. Right? So we're all trying to become better every day. That's what it's about. It's about creating a space that you're currently living in that's reflecting the person that you're becoming versus who you were. So get rid of the old artwork. Get rid of the old stuff. Anything that doesn't make you happy, get rid of it. And if it was a gift, well, guess what? The gift was given, that person had joy giving it to you, and you had joy receiving it, and now, if the joy is no longer there, it served its purpose, and it's okay to let it go. It's okay to let it go. I'm giving you permission to let it go. All right, so that's what I got for you today. I hope that you'll just check this book out, because it really, really, it's so like life-changing. It really is. It's awesome. And a gal in our book club, she recommended that there's a follow-up to it, and it's called, I think it's called Sparking Joy. So I'm going to go to the library today when I return this one and see if I can find that one there. And someone else said you can also listen to them free on Google Play, maybe, or iTunes. I'm not sure. I'll drop it in the comments below. But I hope that you're feeling inspired to just start shedding stuff. It's kind of like, you know, reptiles, they shed their skins. Let's do it. Let's shed some of our crap that's holding us back and keeping us in the past, because if you're not growing and becoming a new person and constantly evolving, well then you're practically dead, my friends. So get some essential oils and shed all the shit. We don't need all this stuff. Right, Connor?
Yeah.
Even Connor agrees. So, yep, we're going to have an epic garage sale. The things that are worth saving, and then and we're gonna go on a family trip with it. That's way more fun, right, than keeping all kinds of crap we might need someday down the road. Get rid of it. All right, so your calls to action are to get a copy of the book or find it, like listen to it on audio and start applying it. Don't be scared. If you have a friend or a family member that you think could benefit from this, tag them. Say, hey, share this. Like, why not? Why don't we? Of course, we want everyone to keep growing and getting better. So like my Facebook page if you haven't already, and then you can stay in the loop when I go live, because it does happen quite frequently. And join me next Friday for more coffee talk. So let me know what you'd like to hear about. I'm always open to suggestions. And it's fun, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, like this page, share it with a friend, and get your hot hands on a book and some lavender essential oil. And if you have any other questions, drop them below and I will get back to you soon. All right, guys, make today fantastic and amazing, because you are the driver of your bus.